Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the business world one filing at a time. And today, get ready because we're diving into Wheeler Real Estate Investment Trust's latest report. And let me tell you, there's a lot more than meets the eye in this one. We've got some interesting stock maneuvers and major shareholder votes that are definitely worth unpacking. So buckle up because this is going to be a ride. Before we jump in, if you love getting these straightforward breakdowns of complex financial documents, make sure you hit that subscribe button now. To give you a little taste of what's coming, we're going to look at how they're reshuffling their stock and what the shareholders decided about some pretty big changes ahead. This is where we see the real rubber meet the road for their future growth. Also, if you want to connect with other like-minded finance enthusiasts and get even more insights, make sure you check out our Discord community linked right down there in the description. It all kicks off on a particular day in August 2025. Wheels Real Estate Investment Trust, also known as WHLR, decided to do some swapping. They agreed to issue a bunch of their common stock, basically the regular shares that most people would own. They gave out 2,500 of these shares. Now, in exchange for this common stock, they got back preferred stock. We're talking about Series D cumulative convertible preferred stock and also Series B convertible preferred stock. Think of preferred stock as a special type of stock that has some different rights compared to common stock. In this specific deal, for every 1 share of Series B preferred and 1 share of Series D 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 preferred, a stockholder received 18 shares of common stock. It was quite a swap. The settlement of these transactions happened pretty quickly that same month. Then, just a day later, on August 19th, they did something similar. This time they agreed to issue even more common stock, 30,000 shares to be exact. Again, these shares were exchanged for more of the preferred stock Series D and Series B. The exchange rate here was a little different. For every 1 share of Series B and 1 share of Series D, they got 19 shares of common stock. The settlement for this one also happened over the next couple of days. The company didn't get any cash for these new common shares. Instead, the old preferred shares they received back were retired and cancelled. This is a pretty common move when a company wants to simplify its capital structure or when preferred stockholders want to convert their holdings into more easily traded common stock. The company said they made these exchanges under a specific rule called Section 3A9 of the Securities Act. Basically, this rule covers situations where a company exchanges its own securities with its existing security holders. The key here is that they didn't pay anyone to convince people to make these exchanges. This is how they avoided having to register all these new shares with the government, which can be a long and costly process. It suggests they were working with existing investors who simply wanted to switch from preferred to common stock. Now let's shift gears to something really important, the company's 2025 annual meeting of stockholders. This is where shareholders get to vote on key company decisions and the results are in. This meeting happened on August 20, 2025. First up was the election of directors. These are the people who lead the company and make big strategic decisions for shareholders. All the nominees for director were elected, which is pretty standard. Looking at the votes, you can see who got the most support. For example, E.J. Barak received 559,666 votes for his directorship. The key numbers here are the votes for and the broker non-votes. Broker non-votes represent shares where the broker didn't receive instructions from the beneficial owner on how to vote. The fact that all directors were elected smoothly suggests general shareholder confidence in the current leadership slate. Next, the shareholders voted on ratifying the appointment of their accounting firm, Cherry Bekaert L.E. for the year 2025. This is a crucial vote because it shows whether the shareholders trust the firm that audits the company's financial statements. The results were overwhelmingly in favour, with 71098, 2114, 114, 140, 114 vote of 1982 votes for, and only 15414, only 154 and only 15444 and only 15414, and only 82 votes for and only 15444 and only 15414, only 15444 and only 15444 and only 15414, only 15414, only 544 and only 15414 votes. Now here's where things get really interesting. Several proposals focused on authorising the board of directors to effect a reverse stock split. Think of a reverse stock split as a way to consolidate existing shares into fewer new shares. For example, a 1-4-10 reverse split means 10 old shares become 1 new share. Companies often do this to increase their stock price per share, which can make the stock more attractive to certain investors and meet exchange listing requirements. Wheeler Real Estate Investment Trust asked for authorization to do this multiple times over several months. The first such proposal was to allow the board to implement a reverse stock split any time between August 21st and August 31st, 2025. The exchange ratio could be anywhere from 1 for 2 up to 1 for 100. The 7-5 against this shows a clear willingness from the shareholders to give the board flexibility. 4794 votes for and 531 through 75 against. This shows a clear willingness from the shareholders to give the board flexibility to manage the stock price. This authority to perform a reverse stock split was requested for multiple future periods. For example, the shareholders also approved authorizing the board to effect a reverse stock split from March 1st to March 31st, 2026, again with ratios between 1 for 2 and 1 for 100. The vote here was also strong, 687 votes for. This pattern of approvals for future periods really highlights the company's strategy to manage its stock price over the long term. This pattern continues even further into the future. They also got approval to enact a reverse stock split from October 1st to October 31st, 2006. It's notable that the shareholder approval for these reverse stock split authorizations remained consistently high across all the proposed timeframes. This indicates strong shareholder backing for the board's plan to potentially adjust the stock's per share price. And finally, to wrap it all up, the report is signed off by M. Andrew Franklin, the Chief Executive Officer and President, and the date of this report, August 20, 2025, tells us this information was officially filed shortly after the shareholder meeting. So what does this all mean for Wheeler Real Estate Investment Trust? The stock exchange activity, where preferred shares were swapped for common shares, suggests a move towards simplifying their ownership structure and possibly increasing the liquidity of their common stock. It's a strategic move to make the shares more accessible. The overwhelming shareholder support for the board to enact reverse stock splits across various future months is a clear signal that investors trust management's ability to manage the company's stock price. This is often done to avoid delisting from major stock exchanges if the price falls too low, or to make the stock appear more valuable. While reverse splits don't change the fundamental value of the company, they can affect investor perception and trading dynamics. Looking at the overall picture, Wheeler Real Estate Investment Trust seems to be actively managing its capital structure and stock profile. The approval of almost every proposal, especially those concerning reverse stock splits, indicates a management team that has strong backing from its shareholders. The company appears to be focusing on strategies that support its market presence and investor relations through these important votes and share exchanges. Now, what's your take on these moves? Is it smart strategy or just window dressing for the stock price? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive helpful, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more regular corporate dispatches. And don't forget to join our awesome Discord community linked in the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.